I've been wanting to say this for a long time now, but we're only a few more weeks away from the release of Persona 3 Reload. The hype is real. There are tons of additions and changes coming to Persona 3 Reload over the original releases, and we're getting into all that right now. As always, definitely consider entering into my giveaway of the Digital Premium Edition to net you the most complete edition of this game when it launches on February 2nd next month. And why not take a chance at my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Digital Deluxe Edition giveaway while you're at it? Links in the description. Alright, so as a complete compilation of absolutely everything new being introduced to Persona 3 with Persona 3 Reload, this compilation consists of numerous things that have been reiterated and explained upon in detail in numerous of my other videos, but contains some newly revealed information as well. If you want a total, complete list of every single component new to Persona 3 Reload that sets it apart from the original Persona 3 releases, this is the video for you. And to simplify these massive amounts of additions and changes, I've categorized these elements into three distinct areas: aesthetic changes, story changes and revisions, and finally, gameplay changes. Let's begin with the aesthetic changes. Persona 3 Reload is a ground-up remake of the core Persona 3 narrative, so of course we are getting brand new graphics, character designs, and sprites here in this remake. With the new look in this remake, all character models appear taller to accommodate the game's larger scaled environments. The UI has been updated, including a more detailed minimap, along with an objectives bar located below the date and moon phase. The minimap in Persona 3 Reload encompasses much of the game world. It is not mainly limited to Tartarus like it was in Persona 3 and Persona 3 FES. Persona 3 Reload features a variety of new animated cutscenes, and some animated scenes from the original Persona 3 releases have now been remade in engine in Persona 3 Reload, like the protagonist's awakening, for example. The game's opening movie has also been changed, just like the various iterations of Persona 3 that came before it, containing with it the debut of a brand new music track, Full Moon Life. All CEASE members can wear customized equipment, and while the gear and their aesthetic qualities can be applied to the team in combat, the animated and cinematic cutscenes will reflect their CEASE outfits. These CEASE outfits are brand new designs, and their new armband designs contain each member's number, with Mitsuru reflecting number 0 and Ken at number 9. The protagonist's number is appropriately number 3, referring to the third mainline game in the Persona franchise. The transitions from the field into battle are now animated and dynamic, and will vary depending on how combat is engaged. All CEASE members will sport different victory poses, similarly to Persona 5. Also, like Persona 5, the characters have their own unique finishing touches, which commence after an all-out attack is performed from the character who initiated it. If the player gets a shuffle time after battle, then shuffle time will commence halfway through the finishing touch. The game will include just Japanese and English voiceovers, but in a first for the Persona series, the game has been localized featuring the largest number of languages, 13 languages in fact, which contain their respective subtitles. These new languages include Polish, Turkish, Russian, and Brazilian Portuguese. Unlike the original game's 30 FPS cap, Persona 3 Reload will be locked at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second, supporting a 4K resolution. For veterans of Persona 3, it has been easy to spot in the trailers that Persona 3 Reload contains numerous new music tracks along with newly arranged music. The main composer, Atsushi Kitajo, has been the primary composer for Persona since Persona 4, and while he didn't produce any of the music for Persona 3 and its various other releases, Kitajo seeks to replicate the classic soundtrack with a few new touches. Rapper Lotus Juice has returned as the male vocalist, but Persona 3 Reload sports a new female vocalist in Azumi Takahashi. Just like Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5 Royal, Persona 3 Reload contains a new player advantage battle theme in It's Going Down Now. Mass Destruction, the original battle theme, has been rearranged in Persona 3 Reload. Here's a list of the English setlist for the Persona 3 Reload soundtrack for you to look through. And that's about it as far as the aesthetic changes are concerned. Do me a solid and let me know if you are liking the looks of how Persona 3 Reload is being presented in the comments below. In my opinion, I'm definitely a fan of these massive graphical and aesthetic leaps over the original. I mean, the original looks good, but damn, does the game look so much better now. Now that we have covered the aesthetic changes, let's head on over to the story side of things, as this is where we really start to see a lot of the work in defining Persona 3 Reload. If you are itching for another massive RPG this winter, look no further than the sponsor of this video, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, the latest installment in the Yakuza series, featuring a deep story, engaging combat, immersive minigames, and so much more. Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth launches January 26, 2024 on PlayStation, Xbox, Windows, and Steam. Pre-order now and get the Heroes Booster Pack and special job set before it's too late. For more information, visit infinitewealth.sega.com.
Welcome to paradise.
Aloha! All right!
I can show you around now. But there's a few things you need to learn before we have a good time.
You can have a little fun with some friends. And even pick up a new skill. Whatever you do, be careful. Even paradise can have its secrets.
You trying to tell me there are Yakuza in Hawaii? Not exactly something you'd find in a guidebook, is it?
Keep your friends close. And your enemies closer.
Name's Dwight.
Nice to meet you.
Take cover!
And now we are back in Iwatodai, looking at the story additions coming to Persona 3 Reload. Starting off, the protagonist no longer narrates from the second-person perspective, also known as the you point of view. Persona 3 Reload is now narrated from the first-person perspective. The voices from both the Japanese and English dubs have been completely re-recorded, featuring brand new lines and many of the lines from the original that have been re-recorded. The big changes first appear in the English voice cast, representing a nearly entirely new cast in this remake. The only character that has retained their original voice actor, or in this case, voice actress, is Tara Platt, who reprises her role as Elizabeth. Here is a list of all the actors here that represent the main cast. In a series first, all Social Link rank-up events are now fully voiced, and all Social Link characters have been given their own voice actors, greatly expanding the total number of voiced lines over the original releases. Here is a complete list of all the voice actors who represent the Social Link cast. While the remake's dialogue is based on the Persona 3 portable script, many new additions have been made to the script, with new events and stories added, totaling in the largest voice script ever produced for a Persona game. Social Links can no longer be broken, but can still be reversed, meaning a level can revert to a previous Social Link level if not being careful. The process to revert back to the previously acquired level is easier to do in the remake. The player can now be platonic if they so choose, and can still max out Social Links without entering into romantic relationships with many of the female Social Link characters. Any available Social Links will now message the protagonist an invitation to hang out, rather than approaching him during lunchtime at school. Just like Persona 4 Golden in the Persona 5 games, an online network feature has been added, displaying community pics for answers to class questions, along with statistics of how other players chose to spend their time for the day. New side stories have been added, known as Link Episodes, that are a brand new mechanic added to not just Persona 3 Reload, but to Persona in general. These Link Episodes are timed and are only made available during specific periods in the story, so they can be missed. Link Episodes were initially meant to give the male battle party members something similar to that of a Social Link, since just like the original, Persona 3 Reload will still not feature male CEASE member Social Links. However, these Link Episodes expand beyond just the male cast and feature all female CEASE members and other miscellaneous characters, like the members of Strega, for example. Viewing these Link Episodes will reward the player with stat bonuses and unlock special fusion recipes. Many new activities have also been added to the dorm life, greatly expanding the interactions the protagonist can have with his dorm mates. The player can now use the computer to take quizzes, gather intel for future Tartarus expeditions, along with being able to cook, read, study, and watch movies and DVDs with your dorm mates. Engaging in these activities will reward the protagonist with special stat boosts. Also brand new to Persona 3 Reload, the protagonist can now spend time gardening with his fellow SEAS members, unlocking and granting combat-based abilities, along with abilities unique to each of the battle members. In the classroom, we've got a new set of questions to answer, along with, of course, new tests to take. Alright, ready for some truly massive changes, and may I add, enhancements to Persona 3 Reload? Look no further than the battle side of things, as Persona 3 Reload adds so much to both the battles and especially to Tartarus over the original Persona 3 games. Let's start with the battle mechanics first. Just like Persona 3 Portable, players will now have direct control over the battle party while in combat. New to Persona 3 is the new shift mechanic, which is essentially the baton pass mechanic from Persona 5, allowing players to use their one more to pass their next move over to another character. This mechanic no longer buffs each consecutive character you shift to, so definitely not as broken here. Also a new addition to even the Persona series is the debut of the Theurgy attacks, where party members can perform devastating attacks with their personas in tandem, serving as a dual attack. These Theurgy attacks may be performed when the player fills up this meter accompanying that character's portrait. Each SEAS member has different actions that influence how they fill their own meters, like the protagonist able to fill his own gauge by summoning personas, and once engaged, these attacks are guaranteed to hit and deal enormous damage to either single or multiple targets, depending on the character. The main protagonist is able to have a wide variety of Theurgy attacks in the form of fusion spells due to his wildcard ability that allows him to wield multiple personas. Certain signature abilities of specific party members have now become substitutes for the Theurgy skills. For example, the protagonist's ability to perform fusion spells with his Theurgy attack, Fuka's Oracle skill is now her Theurgy ability and no longer is able to grant negative effects, as well as Aegis's Orgia mode tactic now being her Theurgy attack. Damage dealing light and dark skills like Koha and Eha have been introduced to the game. Alright, now we're getting into the Tartarus updates, and they are absolutely massive, so for those who were a little underwhelmed by the monotony of Tartarus in the earlier Persona 3 releases, Persona 3 Reload's Tartarus may just make you a fan of it. To start, the condition system in which party members may become fatigued over time while in Tartarus has been completely removed. Shuffle time has seen significant changes in Persona 3 Reload, as shuffle time now functions like Persona 4 Golden, in which cards can be selected manually. In addition, major arcana cards can be collected, granting the party lingering effects and buffs that will last until the end of that current expedition in Tartarus. By collecting all available major arcana cards in a Tartarus session will result in what is called an arcana burst, causing every minor arcana card collected thereafter to rank up, having its effects strengthened throughout the duration of being in Tartarus for that day. Tartarus has been significantly expanded, featuring more varied layouts and themes. Tartarus features significantly more character events, where scenes play out in Tartarus at regular intervals. Tartarus features breakable objects and now contains locked treasure chests that require Twilight fragments to be unlocked, which can be obtained in numerous ways, including breaking open breakable objects in Tartarus or drop from enemies. Spending 7 Twilight fragments at the entrance clock in Tartarus will fully recover your party's HP and SP. Speaking of party recovery, Fuka now has an SP bar of her own as the SEAS Navigator, and players can spend her SP by utilizing her following abilities: Jamming, Sylphid Aura, and Shock Noise. Jamming allows you to avoid detection by shadows on the current floor. Sylphid Aura buffs all party members at the start of the next battle, and Shock Noise temporarily distresses all enemies on the floor. Players can also use an auto-recovery feature that restores the party's HP values by tapping into your party's healing skills. Traversal throughout Tartarus has been enhanced as well, as now players can dash to speed up traversal through the floors. Instead of solely being able to split up the party and allocate a member to search the current floor for treasure and the exit, the player can instead request for a member to search the next floor up alone. The party member will return to the party with any items found from the preceding floor upon the player reaching the next floor. Tartarus now contains monad doors and monad passages. Monad doors can appear sporadically throughout the floors of Tartarus, containing a treasure chest with valuable items and gear with powerful shadows that protect it. Upon completing these battles against powerful shadows behind these monad doors, the player will be rewarded with a special shuffle time that gives the opportunity to obtain major arcana cards. The monad passage contains a long hallway containing several shadows, and upon defeat, rewards the player with weapons, costumes, and unique items. In addition to the regular rare shadows players can come across, huge rare shadows may also be found, greatly increasing the rewards dropped when defeated. New personas have also been added to Persona 3 Reload. The Velvet Room has received quality of life updates, including an enhanced user interface and the ability to select inherited skills. Alright, that was a lot with all the updates, so let me know which ones you are looking forward to most in the comments and whether I missed some of these new features. Persona 3 Reload definitely is receiving a facelift here with the myriad of additions hitting the game, but I know that not all Persona fans are happy regarding the glaring omissions. Most notably, Persona 3 FES's chapter, The Answer, and Persona 3 Portable's female protagonist not being featured here in Persona 3 Reload. While for some Persona 3 fans, this is a deal breaker, but for those coming into Persona 3 for the first time, there is, without a doubt, no better way to experience the original core Persona 3 narrative than Persona 3 Reload. There are simply more than enough enhancements and adjustments that will make this third mainline Persona game feel almost like a completely new game, so definitely check it out if you're itching for an incredibly high quality game that will keep you invested for several dozen hours. With that said, let me know if you are picking this game up in a couple of weeks or if you are going to take a pass. Again, enter into the giveaway to earn a shot at earning the digital premium edition of this game paid for by yours truly, linked in the description. And stay tuned to the channel for more Persona 3 and JRPG coverage coming soon. Thank you for your continued support, and I will see you real soon in the next one.